This is Him with friends are only protecting families by protecting the pack. Today I want to talk about EOS. Should I buy EOS at $18 at this point? Even when it's like hovering on 20 bucks, right? Is it too high? Is there still much room left? Now, this is the way I want to kind of pre-frame the mindset. Remember when Bitcoin was 150 bucks, right? That's at least when I saw it, and I had 10K laying around, and I didn't jump on it. And I was like, it went from 1,000 to 150, and then I actually picked it up later on around $1,000, and then went up to 2,000, and I was like, okay. So I remember the time frame it took to go from $1,000 to 17K, right? It took at least a year and a half to 2 years. All right, so even at 150 bucks, you're like, okay, if would I buy EOS at 150 bucks, knowing that maybe it would be something similar? Now I know that there's these core coins, whereas Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin is like crypto 1.0, Ether is crypto 2.0 with contracts, and as far as I know, EOS will be 3.0 because it solves the problems that part one, version 1 and version 2 had, right? It just didn't have ability to do smart contracts, be able to have some instructions behind the transfer. And now that you have that, we have scalability issues, and EOS solves that. Another thing is, like, other people have the mindset of, oh, well, it hasn't been launched, this and that, and there's also two mindsets behind that. My wife would be something like, oh, let's make sure it works. Let's pre-plan everything. Let's know all the details before we charge ahead and do something. And we know that in reality, especially for me in business, yes, I agree to a certain extent. But in business and in anything that we venture out and do, I have the mindset of like, hey, well, I want to go there. I want to take the hill. I'm going to go down there, charge it. If I encounter a stream, we'll deal with it. We'll build a raft. If I encounter some poison bushes, well, we're going to have to deal with that too, and bust up the machete and whack it, But do I know that it's going to be there? No. Well, I'm going to have to go back up the hill again and go build my machete and go back down and do it again. Eventually, forging away and keep pushing through whatever challenges that comes up. And so I see how, even though EOS has not been built yet, or there's some testnet, but we can see examples from the same creator, Dan Larimer. He's created Steemit as an example, BitShare as an example, and they all are successful, and he knows what he's doing. So I think on his third round, I think he's, third whack at it, it gets better each and every time. It builds experiences. You build experience, and you build... well, yeah, I guess with experience you build a better product, with that experience. So that gives me a lot of confidence with that. Now, as far as the price point, I remember when I first heard about Ethereum, it was around $60 to $80. I was an Uber driver, and someone was telling me about it. I was like, oh, okay. And I looked at it, and I was like, back then I was like, oh man, but I barely have $100 in my account. Like, what's going on? And so I didn't jump on it until later on, and then by the time I was able to do something, it was probably going to 150, 200 bucks. And I was like, oh, should I? It's kind of high already. I don't know. And then it come 300 for a little while, and then all of a sudden 600, 1200, and then we're on 700 right now. So because I believe it's transitioning over to EOS eventually. But imagine we kind of use that same lesson learned, okay? And now applying that to EOS, would I still buy it 20 bucks? Yeah, because EOS is going to be replacing Ethereum. It's 3.0. Okay, now we can kind of think back, well, maybe this is where Ethereum, before it launched, should I buy it? Yeah, right? It's a smart contract. It's a new level of a new 3.0 version, basically, a new and improved forge ahead. And whatever problems that EOS is going to encounter, any challenges it's going to have, they're going to be able to update the code quickly. You don't have to fork anymore, all this other stuff, and be able to adapt. And in a sense, yeah, there is no perfect code, but the ability to update and change and without having to fork any blockchains or whatever it is amazing, right? So I think it's gonna be worth way more than Ethereum as in terms of value. And I don't know if you heard about this down the pipeline. Is that this is huge? Is that the Bitcoin network can be transitioned over to EOS? All the Ethereum ICOs can be transitioned to EOS. So you think about everything moving over to EOS. All right. Just to let you know, this was actually down in the. I heard from someone in the Telegram group in EOS saying Dan Larry jumped on and he kind of dropped that tidbit, and I was like, "Whoa, this is huge!" If, someone knows about that. Yeah. So even at 20, we don't know when, but anytime before the launch, I'm still buying on the when it's 21, 18. If it drops down to 16, I'm buying more. It goes back up to 18, I'm buying. It comes back down to 5, I'm buying even more. Just keep buying it, right? Because think about if you're buying some Ethereum right now back in the day before it became what it is today. Yeah, $25, whatever, it's cheap, right? Compared to what, 670, and price is relative. All right. Now the thing is, there's a strategy. Ethereum, if you had bought it and sold it quickly, right? You're gonna have to hold it for a certain amount of time for it to reach those levels. Okay. So depending on your strategy, I would slate some a percentage, maybe a larger percentage, maybe 80% aside, maybe 20% for trading. Then yeah, if you're trading at 20%, maybe $18 is a little, maybe $20 maybe a little too high, depending on the. I use Elliott waves too, so depending on the Elliott waves, when you think it's gonna correct, we correct from 21 down to 16, and we're back up to 18. I think it's gonna be going past that now. So of course, use your trend analysis and your studies if you're gonna be getting within a few days to a week in and out. Yeah, then it would matter whether you get in at $18 or not. But I'm gonna go for the long run, going for when Bitcoin was 150,000 to 17K, or when Ether was from $80 to 1,200, and now it's 700, but still a lot, right? That took about a year, right? A year and a half of holding. So if you could just hold that amount and not just keep trading it back and forth, and then all of a sudden come 2 years, you're like, okay, well, yeah, I made some gains, some losses, but I probably would have been better hodling it, right? So there you go, guys. If you're gonna be buying it for long term, then buy it right now. Just hold it for a year and a half, and you'll be fine. Okay. Now, if you're gonna be trading it, then yeah, it matters whether or not where you get in, because those little tiny blips matter to you guys. All right. So continue to arbitrage. I'm still arbitraging still. There's still opportunities to arbitrage. And definitely we've been kind of changing it up a little bit. We're using more stop losses because of the bull run. So as it rises too quick, too fast, we'll just kind of follow trailing stop loss manually, until it changes and turns around. Then we'll sell out and let it drop a few, and then re-arbitrage again. Okay. Hopefully that helps you guys to buy EOS. Just get it, okay? Because it's gonna follow the pricing patterns of Ethereum. Okay, so if you know what Ethereum's worth, you kind of know what EOS is worth, and $20 is cheap. I buy if it goes to 50, whatever, I'll buy it still. If it's still within June-ish, but after it gets released, I think it's just gonna explode. So enjoy, have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.